We start at the beginning, the very beginning of all things, everything that we can know through observation. This includes our world, our universe, all matter, all forces, and what we have come to call space and time, or just space-time. The first question is, was there a beginning at all? Or has it been here all along? Is physical reality something eternal, or is it something that somehow came into existence? What was there before our universe? Nothing? And how did nothing emerge into a universe that harbored or generated life, including you and me? For most of human history, many believed that the universe was eternal. It was there forever. There was no real beginning. Most ancient civilizations did have some idea of a beginning, even with an eternal universe. Gods expressed in a wide variety formed a physical universe out of eternal substance or chaos. As we moved into the scientific age, sometime in the last 300 years or so, most scientists and philosophers believed in an eternally existing universe called the steady-state universe. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest minds of all time, developed the theory of general relativity. But using that theory, he found that in order to support his strong belief in a steady-state universe, he needed to create a force he called the cosmological constant. It was the only way to preserve the idea of an eternal universe. Finally, he was convinced that the universe did have a beginning, and he called his constant the greatest blunder of his life. Now, most scientists and philosophers agree that our universe had a beginning. It's called the Big Bang, and it occurred about 13.8 billion years ago. In our current understanding, all the matter and forces and everything that is in our universe was bound up into a single point, so incredibly small that it can hardly even be called a point. It is called the singularity. What happened to generate that point, pregnant with all the matter and forces of the universe, is beyond the laws of nature and beyond science, at least as we know it today. How it first came to be and why it suddenly exploded in an incredibly precise way to create what we now call reality is a great mystery. Not only did our universe begin, and with it all the stuff that is in it, including life, but time itself began just 13.8 billion years ago. Space and time as we know them did not exist before the Big Bang. Anything that happened before then was outside of time and outside of space. It's something that is very difficult to even consider. Scientists and philosophers, like Einstein, fought against the idea of a creation event for a long time, for good reason. Since the discoveries of great scientists like Galileo and Newton, science was seen by its most ardent advocates as the way to do away with outmoded ideas and beliefs tied to religion, where God or gods were credited or blamed for all kinds of things, from terrible diseases to the sound of thunder and the motion of the sun and stars. We humans found we could unlock the keys to essentially all questions by discovering the basic laws of nature. God didn't keep the planets spinning in their orbits around the sun. No, it was gravity that did that. The same force that made an apple fall from the tree. A force that could simply be described with numbers and with mathematics. Using mathematics, we could eliminate one mystery after another. With math and science, it looked like God simply wasn't needed anymore. So when the idea of a creation event emerged, many scientists rejected it. It was called the Big Bang by one of those, Sir Fred Hoyle, who despised the idea. An atheist, he spent much of his scientific energy trying to find ways to avoid the increasingly obvious conclusion. After all, the certainty of a beginning confirmed one of the most important ideas that started in ancient Israel. The book of Genesis says, "In the beginning." There was, it declares, a beginning. More than that, it said, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." The idea of a creator God is foundational to the whole religion or faith of Jews, Christians, and Muslims. Without a creator, nothing else matters. Without a beginning, how could there be a creator? With the creation event, either something came from nothing, or there was a first cause, or in the words of Aristotle, a prime mover. The Big Bang has left scientists and philosophers either agreeing that there was a beginning or finding another way of explaining the origin of all things. One idea is the multiverse, and a related idea called eternal inflation. But even with this, our own little universe had to have a beginning. It may be one of an infinite number of universes which are continually bubbling into existence, but this one, and each one, still had to start. The popular multiverse idea doesn't avoid a creation event. In fact, it creates a more complicated creation event by requiring at least two of them. How did eternal inflation get started? It only kicks the question of beginnings down the road. In the introductory video, we said the key question posed in this top-down or bottom-up series is intention. Is the universe we observe an accident of nature? Can it be explained through the laws of physics as a result of forces and particles? Or was it intended, brought into being as an act of will? The fact is, there is no natural explanation for the existence of the universe, not yet anyway. We know quite a bit about its beginning down to the tiny fraction of a second after the initial explosion began. We don't know what was there before that explosion, or why it was put there. We don't know how it could be possible that all the particles in the entire unbelievably vast universe could be packed into something that only a God's eye could see, or how laws could magically emerge from this same infinitesimal point. And we don't know who lit the fire that set off the explosion that resulted in what we call our universe. That doesn't mean we can prove we are here along with this universe because someone or something intended it, but we must conclude it is a reasonable answer to one of our deepest mysteries.